Welcome to Pulp, the search for a lost literary classic from the Pulp era.
Is it my turn? Oh, okay. Hi everybody, my name is Jake, and I have some regrets. I've made some mistakes. I've made some mistakes that still haunt me to this day. When I was young, I was a poor reader. I was really slow at it. I mean, not even baseline. My my reading comprehension wasn't good at all. It was bad. Anytime there was a reading test, I would fail it. And then something happened that changed my life. When I was 10, I was at a garage sale and I found a long box of Bronze Age comic books. I mean, this thing was just stuffed full of it. And it was like $30, some old grandma who didn't know what she had. And so I bought those and I devoured those books. And that's when my collection began. And as my collection grew, so did my passion. And with my passion, my reading ability as well. So I went from failing all these tests to acing all these tests. And present day, I read 720 words a minute. Like I'm a very fast reader now. Comic books not only help me get better at reading, they help me learn to love reading. So I had this large, beautiful Bronze Age comic collection, and when I was 17, I sold the whole lot on eBay for $200 and bought a snowboard. I don't even know how to snowboard. I sold them. I sold them all.
Don't let the Riddler know that. It's a comic book joke. Or maybe it's not.
Sadly, that's actually a true story. But first, let's talk about the GFF. Gardner Francis Cooper Fox was an American author born May 20th, 1911, and he died in 1986 at the age of 75. On his 11th birthday, Fox was gifted The Gods of Mars and The Warlord of Mars by Edgar Rice Burroughs, and it opened his eyes to a whole new world. He went on to receive his law degree from St. John's College and practiced for 2 years, but the Great Depression forced Fox to seek other means of employment. So he began contributing to the pulps as well as to the comics. I say as well as the comics, but in truth, aside from Robert Kanigher, there is no one who has written more stories for DC Comics. Fox is credited with over 1,500 Golden and Silver Age comic stories for DC, and that's just DC, mind you. And he's also the creator of numerous characters. He also created the Batarang, the Multiverse, and a small superhero team that, never mind, you guys probably haven't heard of them. During World War II, many comic authors were pulled into service. Ironically, DC needed a hero. They found one in Fox, who jumped in and picked up all the slack in addition to his usual massive workload. Fox was a writing machine, and as the popularity of the pulps began to wane, as did comics at the time, he dove headfirst into the paperback novel scene and wasn't picky about genre. I'm serious, look this guy up. He was a polymathic animal. Right here is a list of some of his pen names. Look at him. Yeah, Moonchild. Fox was a member of the Authors Guild, Authors League of America, the Science Fiction Writers of America, and, unsurprisingly, the Academy of Comic Book Arts. He was honored with multiple awards over his lifetime, including the Jules Verne Award for Lifetime Achievement in 1982. All in, Gardner F. Fox wrote over 4,000 comics, and as for short stories and novels, I can't find a solid number due to his frequent use of pseudonym and house name. It's a lot, though. But with over 20 confirmed contributions to sci-fi and fantasy, Fox is a welcome addition to this genre we love. Which brings us to Warrior of Llarn. Near Canopus there is a small red sun, around which 11 planets revolve. One of these is Llarn, a world which resembles Earth in some ways, but in others is exotically different. There were men and women there, fallen empires, forgotten cities, and roving barbarians striving to rise. And there were the dreaded remnants of a hideous atomic disaster eons past. Things that once were men, with powers that bordered on the evilly miraculous. Alan Morgan came to Llarn at the behest of one of these warped man monsters to act as his envoy on a world-shaking mission. But Alan was no puppet, and the story of his extraordinary adventures on that world of swordplay and wonders is a constantly exciting novel. Warrior of Llarn was an original story first published in 1964 by Ace Books. It is 160 pages and originally cost 40 cents. The cover is by Frank Frazetta, and I love it. I seriously love it. I mean, how could it be any more epic? The deep black galaxy makes the pink and blues pop, and the coloring is not just hyper-stylized, the pink mists here fit into the story. The hero, Alan Morgan, looks very barbarian-esque, strong, and confident, but the highlight for me is definitely this drawl. It is a horse-like beast, and its design is absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's a tiger horse with horns! The first edition is the only edition in print, and you can find it for around $10. Fox was a jack of all writing trades, and he dipped his toes in multiple different genres, from Conan-style sword and sorcery with his Kothar and Kyric series, spy sleaze with Cherry Delight and The Lady from Lust, westerns, historical romance, sports, and of course, sci-fi. Clearly influenced by Edgar Rice Burroughs' Barsoom series, Warrior of Llarn is Gardner's crack at Sword and Planet. Let's talk about what I liked, other than this cover. The cover. I praised it a second ago, and I'm going to do it again here. I have over 700 vintage sci-fi novels, but this cover is without a doubt in my top 10. I think it's fantastic, and Frazetta knocked it out of the park with this one. The non-Burroughs elements here, I think, were more interesting than the classic sword and planet tropes. The setting was this post-apocalyptic alien world, and it was visually very interesting. But my favorite element were these creatures called Ophilos. They used to be humanoid, but the nuclear fallout transformed them into some sort of radioactive energy. As their physical bodies decayed, they then evolved into some sort of tentacled, Lovecraftian being, existing somewhere between physical and ethereal. I like these elements, and I wish they were more central to the story, but move aside sci-fi, we got some swashbuckling to do. Speaking of which, the sword fighting. Comic book writers have to be action-oriented, visual writers, and Gardner Fox is just that. The combat sequences, which there were many, were well done and immersive. Fox has a good sense of space, movement, and impact, and the fight sequences were without a doubt the best I've read this year. There's a reason why people love the Sword and Planet subgenres. They are fun, fast-moving adventures, and Warrior of Llarn here is no exception. This is a snack novel. Fun and entertaining as all heck. And now, the bad. Not too far into this book, I got the sense that, oh no, this might be a bit derivative, and I was 100% correct.
Derivative?
I said earlier that he was paying homage to Burroughs' Barsoom series. That might have been a bit of a euphemism. This book simply doesn't pay homage to a Princess of Mars. This book is a Princess of Mars. Beat for beat, a man from Earth is mysteriously and instantly teleported to an alien world. The lighter gravity gives him superhuman strength and agility. He can jump really high. He is a master swordsman. He encounters hostile aliens and a princess that needs saving. He then leads a rebellion of aliens to stop a coerced marriage because he loves the princess and saves her kingdom from a neighboring warlord and a powerful alien threat. So you can read this book if you want, or you can go watch John Carter, because they're the exact same thing. This book made me feel like I was dumb because the supporting cast really confused me. Here are some of their names. Let me see if you guys fare better than I did. Drackle 2, Gorlin Dove, Morlin Az, Barak Tan, Van Tan, Kar Kul, Kav Mork. The names are all alien as expected, and that's normally fine, but I think the two-name structure made them read too similar. That and they weren't all introduced properly. That and Fox wasn't consistent with the spelling of some of these names on more than one occasion. I ended up being quite confused. Like I thought the primary villain was a completely different character. I mean, look at this list right here. You see these names? Gun to my head. I just finished reading this book. Gun to my head. I couldn't tell you who's who. There's some kind of MacGuffin balls and rods in this. Yeah, balls and rods. What? Why's everybody looking at me like that? The Ophilos need these balls and rods for... Well, I don't really know. We're not really told. The thing is, Gardner Fox was great at description, but with these two elements, we got nothing. We don't know why they were needed. We don't know what they do. It seemed as though Fox set up these mystery box elements, these balls and rods, but then by the time the payoff came, either he couldn't remember or didn't want to explain it to us, so it was just quickly written off. It was very strange. Because listen, if you say that the most important elements in the universe are these balls and rods, I mean, hey bud, you might have to explain that a little bit, because Not us, right? But some more immature minds out there. Again, not me, not you, but some of the more immature minds out there are going to say the most important thing in the galaxy are balls and rods. Morgan is captured at one point, and he is thrown into a... Here, we're going to say it at the same time, all right? He's captured, and he is thrown into a museum. Wait, what did you say? Of course, he's left unguarded, and so he goes exploring, naturally, and discovers a weapon room. Hey, are you aliens secret idiots? Of course, they aren't nearly as dumb as the aliens who capture him later, and they've captured him, but they forgot something. Guys, I feel like we're forgetting something. We locked him. We put him in a cage. He's in the cage. Yep. We locked him up. Yeah. Who has the key? Do we still have the key? Okay, we got the key. Man, I feel like we're forgetting something, guys. Did anybody grab his giant sword? Morgan has made a friend. He's some sort of alien farmer, and as he prepares to attack the capital and save his love, he spends the night at his friend's house. Barlock Tan, Morgan's friend, sat down and leaned back in a chair. It has come. I knew it would someday if Draco 2 still lived. I and others like me have made certain preparations. We have gathered weapons, hired former soldiers, veterans of old Cartholian wars. When he saw my surprise, he chuckled. I have more than 2,000 men on my payroll right now who are ready and eager to take up arms. No, Sword and Planet novels are well known and criticized for their plot convenience, but this one might take the cake for me. Oh, you need help attacking a city? Listen, I know I'm just an alien orange farmer, but I have about 2,000 soldiers on my payroll. Yeah, they're actually in the other room over here. Let me get them. Hey, fellas! So what's the verdict? Personal collection. The story is fine. It's non-offensive, entertaining, but nothing you haven't read before. Why personal collection then? Well, be honest with yourself here. Are you going to tell me that if you see this cover in the wild that you're not going to buy it? But the book itself is just okay. I do have the sequel here and heard it's better, but I don't feel a strong inclination to read it. Maybe someday if I need to turn my brain off and have some word popcorn. And that's my review of Warrior of Llarn. Have you guys read this? Was there another one of Fox's stories that I should have read instead? Let us know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time with the Lomocome Papers.
And if I can describe the movie John Carter in any way, it's like this. It's kind of like Waterworld in space meets Stargate meets some 80s sci-fi fantasy movie like Krull, but not Krull. I won't say the movie's dog. There were parts that I did enjoy, but I will say it's okay, but you're not going to remember it in T-2 days.